On the 21st of September, tens of thousands of Filipinos took to the streets of Manila to protest against government corruption. The protesters allege that taxpayers have lost billions of dollars to fraudulent flood relief projects. Money meant for development, they say, has been misused. The protests turned violent, with clashes near the presidential palace. But this is not only a story of the Philippines. In September itself, the world witnessed Nepal's Gen Z protesters against corruption that ousted KP Sharma Oli's government. Across the world, corruption and lack of trust in leaders are pushing people to raise their voices. From Peru and Argentina to France and Siberia to Japan, citizens are voicing anger over corruption and governance failures. When governments fail to deliver fairness and transparency, ordinary citizens are the ones who suffer, and often they are the ones who step out to demand change.
Nandito kami para manawagan na tama na, sobra na, tigilan natin ang korupsyon.
Reformasi terbesar DPR adalah ketika lu kerja untuk rakyat, bukan lu kerja untuk ketua partai atau untuk partai lo.
Je suis venu le 10 septembre, la semaine dernière, pour montrer la colère. On en a ras-le-bol de se faire tondre comme des moutons.
On WION Wideangle this week, we take you inside these global uprisings. What impact do these anti-corruption movements have on a country's government? And can people's voices actually bring a change? Let's take you first to the Philippines. On the 21st of September, the heart of Manila became the epicenter of public outrage. Tens of thousands gathered to demand accountability for billions lost to alleged corruption. What started as mass rallies soon turned into one of the biggest anti-government movements in recent years.
The people are very angry because they have been victims of flooding for all these years. And flooding has made their lives so difficult. And yet the discovery that all the billions of pesos that were supposed to help them, that was supposed to solve the problem, have ended up lining the pockets of all these corrupt politicians, government officials, and contractors.
I feel bad that we wallow in poverty, we lose our homes, our lives, and our future, while they rake in a big fortune from our taxes that pay for their luxury cars, foreign trips, and bigger corporate transactions.
The allegations that sparked this wave of anger first surfaced in July this year. Rage over the so-called ghost infrastructure projects has been mounting since President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. put them center stage in a July State of the Union address that followed weeks of deadly flooding. Reports claimed that funds meant for flood control and climate projects had been diverted into the hands of politicians and officials. The numbers were staggering. Government figures estimated losses of nearly $2 billion over 2 years. In a country that faces up to 20 tropical cyclones every year, the impact was devastating. Projects that should have protected millions from floods were never completed. Dams remained unbuilt and communities were left exposed to the next wave of rains and storms. Residents of Bulacan province in the Philippines are feeling the real impact. With substandard flood control projects, communities are left without protection. More than 100 flood control projects built with allegedly taxpayer money are at the center of one of the country's biggest corruption scandals in decades.
It's the fault of those who gave them the contractor money. They should not have handed it over before the job was completed. Both of them are guilty.
I feel angry because everyone here is affected. There are a lot of families here in Francis. What we really need is immediate action, not just attention. Immediate action is what we need.
The protests gained strength as students, church groups, civil society, and even celebrities joined together. The date chosen for the rallies was no coincidence. September 21st marks the anniversary of former dictator Ferdinand Marcos Sr.'s declaration of martial law.
We are here to remind our people that during the anniversary of martial law was not just about authoritarian rule. Martial law enabled the plunder of our nation's wealth. Unfortunately, authoritarianism and plunder continue to plague our country. So we are here to demand action from the government. We are here to demand accountability against corrupt officials in the government.
As protesters marched towards the presidential palace, the mood shifted. Police blocked their path. Chants turned to confrontation, and soon the demonstrations spilled into violence. Some in the crowd hurled rocks and Molotov cocktails. Riot police responded with water cannons and flashbangs. By nightfall, chaos engulfed the streets. Masked demonstrators waved a flag from the Japanese manga, One Piece, a symbol also seen in recent protests in Indonesia. More than 200 people have been arrested following the violent clashes between the protesters and the police. Several people, including the police, have also been left injured. These protests have brought the issue of corruption to the center of political debate in the Philippines. The government now faces pressure to explain where public funds have gone and whether promised flood protection projects will be completed.